just been constantly reading so far this morning. Coffee and reading and more reading and more reading. This is part of my finished stack. This is what I still have to read through today. I'm only a few days away from my deadline of sending this new book to my audiobook publisher, and I'm not usually the fastest reader, so it's taking my full concentration to really zero in on this manuscript and read it in a shorter time frame, because it usually takes me quite a while. I'm really happy with this book. I like to be the last set of eyes on a manuscript before it's published, because I haven't read this since it came back from my editor, my proofreader, and it just feels satisfying to be the last set of eyes, you know, being the first set of eyes as the author, being the last set of eyes as the author before it goes to print. And I'm happy with it. It feels so good to have worked for so long and so hard on this book, and to see that hard work pay off in a beautiful manuscript that feels really good to read. I'm really happy with that, and I'm excited to publish this one. It's the end, kind of the closing of a chapter on my writing life, because I've stayed with these characters and this theme, the Blood Race theme, for a long time. And even though the Blood Race series ended, this was the follow-up duology. This is the follow-up duology. And this is the second and last book, that duology. So it's kind of bittersweet, you know, leaving the characters behind, but you never know. I might write another book about them in the future. But if you want to stay updated on when I'm going to release this book and stuff, I highly recommend joining my mailing list, because that's the surest way to hear about the release if you're interested in reading this book when it comes out, or hearing updates if I do an ARC team and all that stuff. I'm still getting everything together. It's been an interesting journey working all this while living nomadically, living out of this little camper, because I've spent a lot of time in here. I mean, I rewrote a lot of this book right where I'm sitting now, so it adds some unique feelings to me going back and reading over these scenes that I rewrote, and I'm like, oh, I rewrote that in this sweet little space that we created for ourselves to live out of on the road. It's been a fun time. I'm definitely ready to head back to Vermont for the beautiful unfolding summer season. And for those of you who've been asking me, hey Kate, are you going to be making more Vermont videos? The answer is yes, yes, and yes. I have so many new things coming in terms of Vermont videos. It's basically going to be like a whole new series, a new season of A Writer in Vermont. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on my channel, watch for those new videos, because I am so creatively stoked for putting those together as just these really fun, funky, creative projects. They're going to be really fun. I have so many ideas. Like, I already am itching to start filming. I'm going to be taking you guys. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it now. Why not? You know? I don't need to keep them all a secret. I'm going to be traveling a lot in Vermont. Living nomadically has shown me, like, it's so much fun to explore on a regular basis, even if you're not going that far from where you live. So that over the summer in Vermont, we're going to go all over the state of Vermont, and we're going to take you with us. I'm going to take you with me as I explore the beautiful green mountains of my home state. And we're going to go on some adventures together. We're going to explore small towns and bookshops and coffee shops and mountains and lakes, and I'm going to take you with me. And it's really humbling to me that so many of you guys have commented that you really like seeing things about Vermont, that it's unique, that it gives you a sense of peace, and you enjoy seeing the beautiful scenery and just the little nooks and crannies of where I grew up. It means a lot to me, because where I grew up is part of the reason of why I am who I am, you know? Part of the reason that I'm a creative writer and why I live minimally and sustainably. All of that's rooted in my rural upbringing. It comes from the fact that I grew up in the woods, and you have to, you know, the street I live on, for example, is this long dead-end dirt road. Don't like to call it dead-end, living end dirt road. And we have to plow it ourselves. You have to shovel your own way out of the entire road. Basically, there were times when we had to shovel our way down the road because it's very remote and you have to take your own waste to the transfer station. There is no trash pickup of any kind. And so it teaches you to not only be more resourceful, but to live lower waste, because you're the one left with your own, you know, your own garbage, your own waste. What you're wasting is what you're having to then figure out how to store until it can be taken somewhere. It's not like someone's going to come pick it up for you. So it teaches you to live in a more economical, resourceful way where you're concentrating more on conserving as much as possible. So that's really helped me a lot in my sustainability journey, and we're going to be focusing on living as close to zero waste as possible over the summer, which is going to be a fun experiment. Something that I will also incorporate into the Vermont videos, there's going to be more about sustainable living, rural living, recipes, lots of plant-based recipes, lots of exploring Vermont villages. And believe me, there's some very cute, tiny Vermont villages that I'm looking forward. I'm kind of making a mental list in my head of all the places I want to go, the places I want to take you guys on a little trip with me. So it's going to be really fun. And of course, I'll show you my writing journey, and Abs and I have a lot of really fun episodes of the podcast coming up. We're getting close to our 100th episode of the podcast, which boggles my mind. It's so humbling and special and touching that so many of you have supported us for so long with the podcast, and here we are 100 episodes later, going stronger than ever, and it means the world to us. So this is probably the last vlog I will do from the road. It's been a good journey. It's been a good time. Been working on the book, been coming up with some new ideas, and I can't wait to share all of it with you. I wish you so much joy in your journey, my friend. I'll see you soon. Namaste.